Hey, Tomies. We would like to thank our sponsor, Nerd Alert Treasures, for supporting this podcast. Nerd Alert Treasures makes handmade and customizable dice trays, pencil bags, and our personal favorite, dice bags with pockets. Use our promo code TOMIES, that's TOMIES, for 15% off. Follow the link in the show notes to get yours today, and be on the lookout for Tomies merch.
Hey, cool people. Do you like mead, magic, and long walks in the icy tundra? Ever wonder what your sled dogs are thinking about? Why not cap off your night with a frosty tabletop adventure?
You will come to love my beef cliff.
You're at the common room. Go to your room.
Excuse us.
Excuse me, Dolcliffe. What's your favorite food?
Sausages, probably.
No, you look like a strong lot, but I've got more friends than you.
Carnelian's like short and on the ground, and he's standing on
You
top
know
of the table.
what you have to
You
do.
know what you have to do.
Carnelian stabs him in the butt.
What did he say?
He likes sausages.
Oh my god, me too.
Alright, I'll sit beside Wade and start carving his rod.
Oh. Oh my god. Sveta, my rod's nearing completion by the looks of things.
Unless the four of you can stop them.
Well, grab your Ugg boots and join Reflex Save every Wednesday on your favorite podcast platform.
You are listening to Tomes of the Chaos Bard. Welcome to Tomes of the Chaos Bard. I am DM Dave, and to the left we have...
Henley.
Boudreaux.
Lyla Garotha.
A very confused Roscoe.
And Fenrir.
And the recap is by Boudreaux.
So, no, I can't do this. He's too angry. Look, guys, I'm just gonna speak to you right now. Here we are, okay? So, like, we started with Henley in a zombie house, and the zombie was about to caress her cheek, and then she ran away, and then, and she's like, there's a troll in the dungeon, and she ran over to us, and then we were like, what? There's a what? And she was like, they're undead zombies, thingies, and actually it was Boudreaux that was like, that's a zombie. And then we're like, what do we do? And Boudreaux's like, we need to murder all of them because their souls must be freed. And then oh yeah, and then everybody's like, what do we do? Why is this all happening? And then this guy is like, hello, my name is Nichols. No, just kidding. He starts,
You tried to kill my zombies. I kill you.
prepare to die. Yeah, no, that's basically
Then come back alive.
yeah, and so then
Only if you want to.
apparently,
Your permission.
so then we're like, and we all stare at this guy fighting stance, and Boudreaux's like, bruh, you listen to me, sucker. And he's like, you are a bad guy. And this guy's like, no, I'm not. I'm a really nice guy. I'm just helping out people. And then Boudreaux's like, oh, you lie, you a liar. And then they just like fight back and forth a lot. And then Boudreaux's like, you suck, and like kick some dirt at him. And then he's like, guys, my group, my family, let's go. And then he tries, and he's like pushing them, and they're like, dot, 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 dot. Lyla Garotha is like, for some reason, I feel compelled to move forward without all of you. And then she like touches Boudreaux, and she's like, I love you. And then she's like, I must go. And he's like, no, Lyla, don't go. And they try to grab her, and Roscoe's like, I actually think you shouldn't go either. And grabs him, and then she's like, no, I'm a strong, independent woman, and like rips her arms away. And then Boudreaux's like, no, you mustn't. And then like all these vines come out from under the ground, and they're like, no. Boudreaux says, no, don't do it. And then she's like, I don't care what you think. I'd rather be stabbed. And then she runs through them. And then this guy's like, I'm so glad you listened to us all. You are such good, my little pupil. And then she's like, I will become your Padawan. And then they just go off into the distance to learn necromancy. Da-da-da-da! I'm bowing.
I don't think.
What just happened?
I don't think I've cried more than in this recording session. Oh my gosh.
And that's
I'm laughing.
I feel like there was a little embellishment in there.
I'm angry.
But this is from Boudreaux's point of view.
Boudreaux Elsie point of view.
Yeah, Boudreaux Elsie.
Belsie.
No, please don't use that. That's not a ship name.
Guys, it's a thing.
Bootsy?
Bootsy's better than Belsie.
Sup, Bootsy?
Bootsy?
Oh gosh.
Bootsley?
Anyway,
I quit, guys. I
And
quit.
that's the show, guys. There
Thanks
we
for
go.
coming.
we don't even need to post the last episode. Just post that.
Just post that. They understand. Thank you, Elsie Boudreaux.
Yeah,
Boosley.
whatever. Just get out of here.
Okay, we left off, as Elsie said, Lyla turning to,
His name's Azeal.
turns to
You
Azeal
sound so defeated with that.
with the gold rock that they found in Nevilleton for a while ago, and saying, "Take me, show me." Azeal nods, and he turns to the rest of the group. Roscoe.
Do we see any of the interaction with, like, the gold rock? I mean, like, obviously we know as us that she's showing him this item, but are we at a point, like, is it at an angle we can see?
You guys are about 60 feet away.
Can we, like, see that she's obviously holding something, but we have no idea what it is?
I would think it'd be more like that.
Okay.
Holding something, and you're showing. You don't hear what she said,
Right.
but you can see him nod, and he looks towards the rest of the group, and he says, "You are welcome to stay in Nevilleton tonight. I will again tell you that it is one of the safest places that you can be in right now." And he'll just look at Lyla and start walking back towards Nevilleton.
I would hope it would be obvious. I mean, for Roscoe, it's obvious that there's something else going on. He has no idea what, but there's something else that's going on. So I'm going to look at everyone else, primarily Boudreaux.
Faces to the ground.
I'm like, Boudreaux, I think Lyla needs us today.
You don't hear anything. I got this guy. Except for sobbing. He's still crying. I'm a strong, independent woman. You got to say that louder, you know?
She's the strong one.
Yeah.
She's not nervous.
No.
She's as tough as the crust of the earth is.
I mean, I could move mountains or surfaces, so technically.
Roscoe just rolled his eyes.
Diamonds and platinum. She finds them, she flattens them.
I take what I hand in and I break what's demanded. That's literally my job, guys.
But okay,
Under
wasn't
the
joking.
surface.
I wasn't joking when, like, 6 episodes ago, I was like, this is my theme song, guys.
this is it right here.
That's it.
Okay, so Azeal and Lyla are walking away.
She's going whether we go with her or not.
And he just chucks the crossbow on the ground and just goes, just go. Just go.
Henley's just like stunned, not sure what to do. Just like not sure whether she should follow or like just be pinned to the ground in shock. Like, not sure.
Fenrir has no idea what's going on still. He's actually going to turn around at this point, knowing that they're going into Nevilleton, knowing the plan was that they'd stay here. Dark Wizard dude just said, hey, this is the safest place you're going to be. He doesn't believe him, but he doesn't know of anywhere else that they can stay that's far enough out of town to where maybe they have a chance to still save Mendrick because he still is like, okay, we still don't have much of a plan. Like we still need information from Swindell. So he's going to turn around. He's going to go back to Joanne and back to the Eagles. And yeah, that's what he's doing. And then when you want to have that conversation, we can.
Okay, I think we'll go ahead and jump to that conversation. So you return back to Joanne. She's like, what is going on?
The original plan was to stay here.
Well, obviously we can't stay here.
I think we're going to.
You got to be kidding me. Didn't they say that there were... Henley said there was undead there.
Yes, but they must think that it's safe to go in, otherwise they wouldn't be going in. I don't know. We could stay here and just wait for them to come back.
They're not going to come back. You know the stories.
I have read many stories, so yeah, I do know the stories.
They cannot be trusted. If this is real, like they were. No. We go find somewhere else to stay. I am not staying in a town full of dead people.
All right. Then let's go look for let's go look for a place outside of town we can stay, because I think that's where they're going to stay. And
Henley hasn't decided. She's still frozen in her tracks, by the way.
at this point, he is going to... Sorry, I'm looking up a spell to see what... I'm looking up message to see how far...
120 feet.
120 feet. So am I within range to Roscoe to cast this?
I'll say so.
Within 120 feet?
Yeah.
So at this point, he is going to... So, spell time. You point your finger at a creature within range and whisper a message. The target hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear. I'm going to cast message and tell Roscoe, Joanna and I are going to look for another place outside of town we can stay.
Take Henley with you.
I don't know what... I don't really know exactly what's going on, but that Joanna doesn't want to stay in a town full of undead. Can't say I blame her.
Hold on. You may have more. And so I'll turn to these two. Be like, I'm going with Lyla. Fenrir and Johanna are going to stay outside of town and find somewhere to camp, to stay with the Eagles. What are you doing?
I look at Boudreaux waiting for him to answer.
He's just sobbing.
Well, if we're going to split the party, we're going to split it evenly. Someone else needs to go with Johanna to help keep her safe. I'm familiar with this area. I will go with Fenrir.
Boudreaux, you coming with me or going with them?
Sobbing.
You want to go make sure Lila's okay, or you want to go hide with a bird?
I can't go with them. I can't go with her. I can't go with you.
Okay, go with them, and we will see you guys in the morning.
I run back to the Eagles.
As you're running up, Fenrir's like, what just happened?
I'll tell you on the way.
Okay.
I'll pick up my crossbow, and he wipes the tears from his eyes. He's still crying, but he does it. And his hand's covered in mud because he was gripping the ground. And he wipes it with his really muddy hands. So now he just has these really muddy cheeks. And he, unable to look at anyone, unable to do much of anything, walks towards the Eagles.
Are you hurrying up to catch him, Roscoe?
Yeah.
Do we see Boudreaux? Because I imagine that took a little while. We're starting to take off.
Yeah, you guys will go off. I'm sure you guys look back and you just see him do that. Stand up, kind of brush himself off, and very uncharacteristically, very slowly back
Sulks his way back to the
Sulks
bird.
his way back to the Eagles. Mm-hmm. Definitely not as happy Chip herself.
I yell at Fenrir. Someone has to. We can't unevenly split the party. If Boudreaux comes with you, I need to go with them.
Fenrir's analyzing this in his head. Because theoretically, the 3 strongest people have now just left. Or the 2 strongest people, and now the 3rd one wants to go. Like,
you could say
in
3.
his
There's
mind-
2 people here. Technically, we're not
I guess
splitting the
that's
party
true.
unevenly.
That's true.
Wow.
Touche. But, like, he also knows that they're going... The only thing he knows at this point is that they're going into Town of Undead. And the only person that appears he's going to give him information is you.
Oh.
Do what you have to do. I'll look over Johanna and Boudreaux. He kind of looks over at Boudreaux and kind of sees like his sulkiness and is like,
I'll say
this.
And he's like, can I roll to see if I understand his intent? Fenrir's intent. Like he needs me to stay with him. Like, do I get that impression from his words?
Gotcha. Go ahead and roll an insight check.
You such a good dice tonight.
Wow.
There's a reason these are my lucky dice.
It's funny that you start rolling really well when you get that luck stone.
Right? Yeah.
And now she doesn't need it.
Don't say that, you'll jinx her.
Jinx.
Insight that's a 21.
Okay. I think you almost don't catch it, but then you see his countenance.
Henley's face changes, and then, like, realizing that our 2 upfront fighters can sort of take care of themselves, plus Roscoe's explosive arrows. She contemplates for, like, probably 30 seconds, and is like, no, I'll stay.
He doesn't argue. He wants to because he's like, he agrees like, hey, we probably should split the party evenly. But at this point, it's more or less
Evenly.
evenly.
Because
Ouch.
no, I'm saying because Boudreaux's pretty much
Boudreaux's
useless at the moment.
fair.
Not in the.
Just kidding. You're right.
So
Or
At the moment,
is it
not
quite the
permanently.
opposite? Maybe he actually will heal people now that he's in distress.
Well, and
Cleric ability unlocked.
just Henley knows that Fenrir is more accustomed to city life, not being camping out in the country necessarily. She's more experienced with that. Plus, Johanna is their asset at the moment.
You can see Johanna is just, she's on her eagle, ready to go. And you can almost get the intent that she's going to leave without any of you.
I then kick my eagle and say, let's go.
What just
Bye,
happened?
Boudreaux. They're getting on their eagles to go.
Oh, I got on mine too.
Okay.
And then, but Boudreaux actually turns to you two, lifts up his head for the first time, and he goes, "Wait." Sorry, I'm so bad right now. And he goes, maybe you should give them one of these. And he holds up his gourd. Maybe you should get them this, actually. When you go and give them this.
Just do a flyby.
We need to go.
We'll find shelter and then we'll go give that to him. Was that okay?
No. It's holy water.
Boudreaux, that holy water will mean nothing to them without a cleric.
No. You can throw it on them and then
He'll look back at Henley and be like, maybe you should take it to him.
Okay. I will climb off my eagle, take the gourd, and start jogging towards the city.
before you let go of the before you let go of the gourd, he like like you have it in full grasp, and he yanks it towards himself. So he pulls you forward, and he goes, "This is a Kundat. This is Kundat himself, holy water. You wash it." And then he shoves it in you.
Henley looks like taken aback. And she goes, "Okay." And sort of tiptoes, like, is he gonna tackle me? Just because it's such a turn from the normal Boudreaux. And then she slowly jogs off.
Okay, you guys are able to... Or I guess you're going to wait till Henley comes back?
No.
Okay.
We're going to take off and go try to find shelter.
Okay. How far away from the city do you want to look? Because you guys are about 300 feet right now.
I would look for the closest. Start close and then work our way out till we see something. Trying to stay as close to the city as I can.
And it's still mid-afternoon, right?
It's about 4 o'clock. So it's still plenty bright outside.
And it's just looking for a grove of trees, for a rock, for maybe not more than a rock, but
A rock.
I don't know if there is like like next to Nevilleton, maybe on the other side, where I don't know if it borders like where the hollow where you go into that.
Right.
Where you go in through the hollow. I think Fenrir would know that.
I need to get the name of your decorator. That's a pretty rock. I like that rock.
Nice boulder.
There we go.
I like that boulder. That's a nice boulder. I love Donkey.
I need to get the name of your interior decorator.
Okay. Yeah, so you're just kind of circling Nevilleton, trying to find some spot.
Yes.
Okay. Jumping to the other two. Okay. So you guys, they're not walking very fast. This guy does not walk fast, but he walks with intent. And so Roscoe, you are able to catch up with the other two. Lyla, I imagine you're walking kind of slightly behind him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of matching his pace.
Yep. And I'm still crying.
Okay.
Because I'm not of two minds. We're definitely set on the same thing. But I'm very torn because of Boudreaux's reaction. As Lyla, I'm very torn because of Boudreaux's reaction. She's never done anything to openly defy Boudreaux. She's always taking Boudreaux's side with everything. And this time she didn't. So it's hard.
Right. And you're going into a situation you're not.
Yeah, we have no idea. And Lyla is terrified because of that.
Yeah. Roscoe, what's going through your mind?
I have no idea what's going on.
Just a lot of things happened real fast, and here we are.
Yep.
Blue flower, red thorns. Blue flower, red thorns. This would be so much easier if I was a colorblind. That's what he's thinking.
Shrek! Don't worry, Shrek, I'm coming!
Hey.
How fast does she? Does she catch up to us? Henley catch up to us before
you
we
guys
enter the town because she's running and we're just at a
and
casual
she
meander.
she probably reaches you probably halfway to Nevilleton because she had to run back 100 feet, talk to Fenrir and then caught up to you, but he's not walking fast. So yeah, about we'll say 100 feet away from Nevilleton, Henley, you catch up to him.
So much running today. And I go to Lyla.
And Azeal stops and turns around. And just looks. Kind of over her
Henley,
shoulder.
like, you know in the anime where they get that little sweat drop? That's sort of what happens, like that face, just like... She pulls the gourd out and looks Lyla in the eyes and puts it in her hands, looking at her straight in the face, or so kind of looking down.
Mm-hmm.
Boudreaux wanted you to hold on to this. It's his Kundas holy water something.
I'll take it. I'll just sling it across.
Okay.
I'm going to go help protect Johanna. Are you two going to be okay? And she kind of like side-eyes a little bit the wizard.
You notice that the wizard's not looking at you. He's more looking at the gourd, kind of like with a raised eyebrow. More out of curiosity than anything.
We'll be good.
Henley has like a really concerned look. Okay. She's still trying to catch her breath a little.
If we need help, I'll hoot twice like a barn owl and once like a brown owl.
Henley gets a little bit confused, like, there's no way we're going to be able to hear you, sort of face. But then she smiles and then jogs off.
When she gets like 15 feet away, Lila's going to look back down at the rock in her hand still and then look and say, Henley?
She turned, yes?
Just take care of them. And then she's going to keep walking.
Henley does a little salute, and I will, and
Roscoe's
runs
gonna
off
be
again.
like,
Roscoe shrugs.
What am I? Chopped liver?
Well, you're with me, so you can't really take care of them.
no, I'm just like, I don't know what's going on.
That's really just Evan. He has no idea what's going on either.
Okay, you guys are able to fly around a little bit. It is starting to get around 7 o'clock now. You found a few places that you could rest up that were more, maybe a mile or two away from.
Henley did catch up to them, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You could see him flying around in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And if Roscoe would have looked up, you would have seen.
I knew you were going to do that.
You are able to find kind of a good little spot of trees that you could possibly camp out in.
David, we'll take it. We'll land there and make camp.
Okay. Is there any conversations that will be had? Anything special that you want to do?
Henley, when we land, informs Fenrir of everything, of that conversation that happened.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Fenrir will kind of look at Boudreaux.
And he was listening to the conversation, but the moment you look at him, he looks away.
Do we need to go rescue those guys?
No. He shakes his head. I don't think so. They did. I don't know. And he slides off his eagle.
Henley then slides off her eagle, goes to Boudreaux, and quietly, puts her hands on his shoulders and what did you mean that you won't ever run away again? You probably didn't know she knew Draconic.
Yeah, he's a little shocked, and he's just but he starts to sob again. You can the tears are starting to drip on you, and he's just
She pulls you into a embrace.
And he hugs you back. And he maybe a little too tight, but not on purpose. And he's just I left my mom. She told me to run. I left my mama, leaving all my family each time. But this time, Lyla ran away from me. Because of those stupid people. And he feels himself getting a little too aggressive, not in the hug, but just in general. And he, as gently as he can, although it's probably a little bit more rough than he desired, but he didn't hurt you. He pushes you away, and he's just I can't talk about this right now. And he goes not far off into the woods, you can see him, and he goes and he just sits down on his, he probably goes to his knees, and he starts gathering up the leaves into a pile, and he makes a circle of where the places are, and then he just like scoots the dead leaves away, and then he sits in the circle, and he looks defeated, almost like a really fun doll you would play with, and it's been played with so much that when you set it down, it's just really floppy. That's just kind of what he looks like, and he just
Ragged, almost.
he's just ragged and just looks horrible, and
Like any slight of breeze could knock him over.
yeah, and he's silently crying. He's not like sobbing, but he's crying, and he's not looking towards you guys. He's looking away.
Henley quickly gathers up some drier leaves and some firewood, uses druidcraft to light the fire. Then she casts alarm, and then she goes over to Boudreaux and just sits with him, just near him. Like, she doesn't say anything. She just is embracing his pain through silence, because she knows how alone he feels, and just embracing his sadness, not trying to fix anything, just sitting with him.
Okay. How far away are you from
Probably
him?
5-10 feet.
Okay.
Not far.
Enough to give you enough space to do what you need to do, but close enough to feel reassured that somebody is there if you need them.
Yeah, and he knows you're there, but he's just praying.
She's eating just some rations.
Fenrir, what do you... Seb's sitting over there like, I have no idea what's going on. Vigorously taking notes.
That's exactly what Roscoe's doing over here too. He's like, I don't know, guys.
He's just never seen. But this is the first. Like he's never. Boudreaux's always been like this kind of this happy-go-lucky guy. Like, so this is a very different persona that is being come out, or that is coming out that he's seeing. So he kind of realizes the graveness of the situation and sees Henley sit next to him, and he's gonna go back to Johanna and be like, how long should we wait for Roscoe and Lyla and Garotha?
I don't know. I'm guessing they're dead.
Respect.
I mean, by the sounds of it, they very well may be. I mean, I guess we'll plan to head to the Hollow at
You kind of see
in the
her.
morning.
You kind of see her shrug, and she's like, "Honestly, at this point, obviously you." And she like points over to Boudreaux, and then kind of waves her hand towards the direction of Nevilleton. She's like, "Honestly, at this point, you guys aren't probably capable to do what I'm asking you to do. I think it would probably be best if you just give me the deed and I go take care of this myself."
I can't do that. At the very least, let me go with you.
She takes a deep breath and nods. She's like, "Okay."
Like, I don't want you to go through this alone. Let's try and get some rest tonight. Let's talk a little bit more in the morning about it. I'll try to get this deed done tonight.
And he nods. Or she nods. Yeah. I'm gonna get some rest. And she kind of stands up and goes, kind of snuggles into her eagle. And you can see kind of a sadness to her. A lot of these emotions and stuff has kind of stirred
Right.
things into her.
At this point, going to start working on the deed.
Okay.
But he's also kind of fearful that she's going to go away by herself.
Mm.
So he's going to walk over to Henley and be like, when you have a minute, we need to talk. And then he's going to walk back and start working on the deed. And
We can talk. She kind of just grabs your sleeve before you leave, because she's like sitting across. We can talk now. And she stands up. I'll follow you.
do you mind taking the first watch tonight?
Yeah.
And then I'll take the last I'm actually going to go meditate right now. And I'll just say to you, like, I'm worried Joanna's going to take off by herself after what's transpired here.
Yeah.
I don't want her to go alone.
I don't want her to go alone either. And I'd like you to have some backup.
We'll see kind of what happens in the morning. See if we hear back from Lyla Garotha. I think and Roscoe at this point, I'm assuming them dead as well. Like, Joanna's assuming they're dead. I'm assuming them not coming back.
Yeah. I hold out my hope, though.
Yeah, I have an inkling they're not. You just kind of get that feeling that they're alive. But as far as Johanna is concerned, she fears them dead.
And we agreed to help her.
Right. So I'm going to go start working on this. I'm going to meditate, and then I'm going to work on this deed as best I can.
I vote that we all go tomorrow with Johanna.
He looks at you, then he looks at Boudreaux. He looks back at you. Looks back at Boudreaux. Are you sure?
Yeah.
I mean, he does know the secret way in. So.
That's the point. And I can still sneak in, get some information before we all go in.
Okay. We can plan on that.
We'll just have to be that much more careful.
Right.
I can probably take an extra watch tonight, if needed.
But if I start my meditation now, you take the first watch, I should be able to take the last.
The deep night watches?
The deep night watches.
Okay. Did Johanna eat something?
Fenrir's stomach starts to growl as well. No.
Boudreaux perks his head up. No, just kidding. Is that what?
I walk over to Johanna and give her some rations. I'm like, you need to keep up your strength.
And she'll reach up and take them and just kind of hold them in her hand and kind of go back up in her bag.
Henley then sits cross-legged next to her, and I'm like, everything's gonna be okay. We've been in dire straits before. Believe me, this group saved my life not too long ago. We can save your husbands.
And she kind of just looks up to you and says, half of you are gone now. We may have had a shot to do something, but...
We have friends in town. They can help.
She kind of gives you a look of like, sure. You can see kind of the confidence just not there. And
Henley looks at her reassuringly. Then she stands up. You really do need to eat. She nods towards the food.
She takes a nibble out of it.
And Henley goes and just sits, kind of patrols around.
Okay. Boudreaux, any last thoughts?
I feel like as the night goes, he does continue to pray, but he eventually will fall asleep.
Okay. We enter the town of Nevilleton. So, as explained earlier, you see just all these kind of walking corpses. They're sun-dried. The smell is horrible. Their clothing is dirty, ragged, shredded. And they seem to be rebuilding the town. Cleaning up debris. You see very slow-like there's no rush to anything. Because you can see that it's kind of hard for them to move. So the buildings that they have been rebuilding, they're not the greatest. But you can see there has been some attempt to rebuilding the fallen buildings that are collapsed or were burned down. A lot of the debris is being stacked behind in the alleyways or being used as makeshift shelters. As you walk through the town, you see many of these zombies kind of raise their head, kind of watching you guys walk. And then after a while, they continue back on their work. You see, as they like look at you guys, you see their eyes go up, or what's left of their eyes, you could say, kind of at Azeal, and you see him acknowledge and nod, and then they kind of turn back to their business. And once he pretty much gets to the middle of town, and you guys see all this work and commotion, he kind of just gestures, and he's like, "There will be no danger here. You will be safe. They know that you mean them no harm. Therefore, you will get no harm done unto you." And he looks at Lyla. "What is it that you seek to do with this gold stone?"
We're now looking super uncomfortable because we're like, oh, well, we weren't really expecting somebody else in our party to come. And we're realizing that we probably were dumb and just being kind of emotional, but, you know, it is what it is. So, these people, they're here to take care of the town until somebody else can come in. Unfinished business, basically.
Correct.
What if... Well, see, we came through before, anyways, and I'm sure we saw some of these kind people, beings, things before, and what if some of the things that we found that we thought would help us along our journey are the reason that they're really still here? This is one of those things, and if it's something that can help somebody else, I don't need it nor want it anymore.
So you wish to find the owner of this trinket?
I mean, you said they came back voluntarily. Then all of them are here. So if it's one of these people, then yes, I think.
And he nods. And you see him he turns, and no words. You just see him kind of just look around the whole town, and just suddenly all the zombies stop and start coming towards you. There's quite a few of them. There's about 30 of them, 35 of them, that start walking towards you, and they surround you guys. Various different sizes, very different smells.
Backup character time.
And then he speaks. And he gestures to the stone in your hand. "Who among you does this belong to?" And he kind of looks down at you and nods. "Show them."
And I take in a really big, deep breath. And I just kind of hold it up in the air, because I'm sure lots of them are like taller than me, so I want them to be able to see it.
Mm-hmm. So you begin to... They stand there and it's like an awkward 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Just silence.
I'm going to close my eyes tight. I'm like, peek one open we're dead yet?
As you peek it open, and Roscoe, you would see this. You see several of them start just turning and walking away. And they just slowly start moving away. And the necromancer kind of looks around, looks down at you, but then right when he looks down at you, he kind of looks behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And Roscoe, you would see this. And Lyla, if you're paying attention a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You turn around and you see this dirty, ragged woman. Half of her hair is gone.
Mm-hmm.
She starts shuffling towards you. And just kind of looks down at the stone, kinks her head, and just slowly starts reaching out for it.
Mm-hmm.
And how are you holding it right now?
Just up in the air.
Okay. So she reaches out, and you feel her her dead skin. You can feel some of the bones.
Cringe slightly.
And she takes it from your grasp. And then she kind of holds it in her hands. And then she looks up at Azeal. And it's almost like there's some kind of communication going between her and him. And he nods. And you see her turn. And she just starts walking away. As the direction that you see her walk, you can see that she's going between these two buildings. They have a bigger gap. And behind there, you see a bunch of kind of like stones, pieces of wood, kind of just sticking kind of vertically out of the ground. And he looks down at you, and he nods his head in the direction of where the zombie is going.
I just kind of look between him and over to where they're going, and him and over where they're going. And then I start walking that way.
Okay. Roscoe, what are you doing in this meantime?
Or being terrified too, because I'm scared.
I don't know. I mean, like, I'm just playing the background.
Okay.
You know, I'm here for Lyla. I think I've got at least one of my hands on my bracers.
Okay.
Just in case. I'm just here for Lyla at this point, so I'm just going to kind of follow where she goes.
Okay. So
Maybe occasionally eyeball the necromancer and be like, But,
So he begins to follow as well, but he stops near a corner of the house, the back corner of the house. The zombie, the kind of makeshift graveyard that she's heading to, sits about 50 feet behind those houses. She shambles up to one of the graves, and she begins to kneel down. And you see her set it aside, and she starts digging in the ground. And after she gets kind of a foot deep, and this takes a while, right? It's a big thing. Picks up the stone, sets it in the ground, and starts burying it again. And you see her just turn slightly towards you, and you almost kind of see a grin come on her face. And you see her just lay down next to the grave, and she goes motionless.
I thought I'd compose myself. And I see this, and I just start bawling. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Azeal starts approaching, and he says, I do not hold these beings as slaves or my servants. This one, as he gestures to the woman, she wanted to rebuild the house and seek revenge on the goblins who destroyed this place. But with your help, she was able to find peace. Thank you.
And I'm going to look at him, holding back tears, and I'm going to say, peace. I don't know peace. And maybe you can help me. Maybe you can't. I don't know. My friend back there, the one I was trying to stop from fighting with you, he's always said that we're unnatural, that we're not normal, that we're not, I don't know, not always, I guess, but things stick. There are two of us here, and you brought these people back voluntarily, but I know not everybody does that. And he said you're forcing them there, and what if we're like that, only not the good kind? I don't know if you can help us. I don't know if you can't. But I need to know if you've got some answers for us or not. I didn't always look like this. mostly like this, but not always just like this. And I need to know if something else can happen, if we can go back, or if somebody forced us to be like this or not, and if it can change. I'm tired of sharing a body with somebody who I don't even know half the time. I'm tired of never having a private thought or of fighting control for my own body. And I'm tired that she's so tired. And we just need to know if you can help or not, or if you know somebody who can. Or if we're gonna be like this forever.
He kneels down, because this guy's actually pretty tall. He's like 6'3", 6'4". And he kneels down, kind of get into your level. And he reaches a hand on and places it on the shoulder. I can help you any way I can. Being unnatural doesn't mean you're not unwanted. There is some things of magic that we could help, that could help. But it takes time. And it takes some resources. But I do believe I can help.
How?
And he stands up and he reaches a hand towards you. And then he reaches a hand back towards town. Let us talk. He looks at Roscoe and he just nods. Still his hand is extended towards you, Lyla. And then he just turns and continues back into town.
I go where he goes at this point. He said he can help. That was our... Other than the feeling of needing to potentially return something, that was the entire point of coming.
Okay. Well, I think we'll end it there. Thanks for listening, guys. Wow. That's some good stuff there. I really like that. Grab the handkerchiefs. Thank you guys for listening.
And it's a little too late to grab them. I'm sure they've already grabbed them.
Put a disclaimer in beforehand.
Well, I guess I should say you should grab your flapjacks, your pancakes, and dab your eyes. Thank you guys for listening. Follow us on our social medias, Tomes of the Chaos Bard on Instagram. We have a Discord. We have Twitter. You can find all those things in our show notes. Also, big shout out to D.A. Nichols for writing our songs and music. Check her RPG at drivethrurpg.com. Shields of Power is her TTRPG. Check out our co-feed. There we will have a lot more stuff for you. We're actually getting ready to do a post show, and that's where you can find it in our first tiers to hear more of this information. Us diving deep into our session, talking a little bit about that. Check that out. With that, I am DM Dave, and to the right I have...
Fenrir.
Roscoe.
Lyla Garotha.
And Henley.
And until next time, we unroll the scroll to tell the tale. Bye! There will be... No, that is not his voice.
Wrong person.
Wrong person. And then you see her kind of... Gosh dang it.
It's okay. Cry.
Take a moment. Compose yourself.
And he looks over at Roscoe.
He looks over at Boudreaux.
Boudreaux, there he is!
I was here.
Die, necromancer!
I poisoned this arrow. I saved my last shot. For you, Barba. I mean. How dare you?
Right, but there's still the dead leaves on the ground. You find some dead logs if you want some.
No? Why do I want dead logs?
To sit down on or something if you wanted to.
Oh, okay.
You
I was like,
I got you.
Crawl inside.
I got you, David. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Oh.
Abide with me, 'tis eventide.
That's a good way to end it, yeah.
The night is fast and gone.
Amen. Amen. No, but seriously.
I'm sorry, I'm crying now. Oh gosh.